Hey, YouTube. Okay, so I'm not sure if this video is going to turn out. I am driving in my old Jeep, so the noise is probably going to be very bad. But I wanted to make a quick video. This is sort of a response, not really a response, but maybe a continuation of thought off of Jay Salen Guitars video that he just posted today about cheap guitars versus expensive guitars, and that whole debate and all the brouhaha around that. And it's really, I think you find this is just, it's not unique to quote-unquote guitar culture. So I'm going to make a very apples to oranges comparison here, which is not a direct, it's not going to be a one-to-one equivalency, but I think it'll be a simplified thing that maybe will be easier to make the point. Not that he didn't make good points, but that he was the points he was making. So instead of guitars, let's talk about shotguns. If you want to get a shotgun and go out and shoot skeet once a week or once a month, and you're just doing it for fun, or maybe there's a, at the range there's a like an amateur league or whatever. So what are your options? So if you're talking about shooting skeet, you need 2 shots. So, and the gun snobs will tell you, well, you have to go out, you have to spend $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, and you have to get a Benelli, or you've got to go, you've got to get a 60s vintage, Browning Centauri or something like that. That's the only way that you can really shoot skeet. Or you could go to, I don't know if they still do, but Walmart used to sell a Mossberg model. Of course, it wasn't made by Mossberg, but Mossberg imported them, a Turkish-made, over and under. I can't remember what they were called. Like a Silver Reserve. I can't remember. But, that was, at the time, 20 years ago, these were $377, something like that. 12 gauge, come with removable chokes, wood furniture, not a synthetic stock or anything like that. But CNC engraving, it's an imitation of one of those high-end over and under shotguns. And obviously you look at the engraving on it, it's done on a machine, and it's rough, and the finish isn't the best, and where you take the forearm off, when you're breaking it down, you're going to see some not finished polished down welds and things like that. So you're getting less workmanship for the cost. You're getting a inferior piece of production, but it's a shotgun. It does what a shotgun does. You can argue about microseconds and the smoothness of the trigger, and if you're getting a custom shotgun or one of these high end, and the trigger pull is going to be exactly the same every time, and it's going to be the exact same delay from when you pull the trigger to when the firing pin hits the primer, and it's going to be the same every time, and it's just milliseconds. But it's still just propelling a cup of pellets down a smoothbore barrel through whatever choke you're using. And a $10,000 shotgun doesn't have some fancy juju that makes a shotgun not a shotgun anymore. So if you're just going out to shoot skeet, you could get by with a sub $400 Turkish import over and under shotgun. Let's take it a step further. You could go out and buy I don't even know, they used to be sub $200 Mossberg Maverick pump action shotgun. Now, you're going to be handicapping yourself a little bit because you're going to have to cycle the action to get that second shot. So shooting doubles is going to be a little bit trickier. But you can do it. People do it. You can get, $200 and get you a shotgun with removable chokes and go out there and be able to shoot a game of skeet. A shotgun is a shotgun. At the end of the day, shotgun is a shotgun is a shotgun, just like a guitar is a guitar. Now, there is nothing wrong with having any of those, just like there's nothing wrong with having any level of guitar that you can afford. And there's nothing wrong with going out and spending $10,000 on a really nice shotgun, because there is pride of ownership. There is something about having that nicely crafted piece of equipment that people are going to ogle over, and especially in terms of shotguns, maybe not in terms of guitars, but it is an investment. It's probably not going to, if it's taken care of, it's probably not going to lose its value. It is something that you can justify as worth having because you want to have it, just like anything else. If you want it, that's all the justification you need for getting it. Now, the problem comes when those guys that can get those kinds of shotguns or those kinds of guitars says that that's the only way to truly shoot skeet or truly play guitar, and that if you're not doing that, if you're not getting that specific level of investment in equipment, then you are somehow either cheating yourself or you're degrading the sport of skeet or the art of playing guitar and making music. And that's where the problem comes in. Now, I know it's not a one-to-one comparison, because you can say that, hand-wound pickups using hand-wound artisanal copper wire that some guy smelted himself, and whatever, where they get the magnets from, and you can make the argument that yes, that makes a better quality of tone, which improves the quality of music, and there's no denying the fact that certain components on high-end guitars, just like the trigger spring in a very nice Benelli is going to be superior to that in an import Turkish-made Mossberg. I mean, there's truth to that. For the average person, is there enough? Does it make enough difference to make a difference? I don't know. I would say for 95% of the population that it doesn't. So that's just whether this means anything to anyone or not. I think that you get invested in one thing or the other because you like one thing or the other, or you're familiar with one thing or the other, then it's easy to lose sight of it. It's easy to get invested in the argument or in the debate, or to try to justify your own position, when you don't need to justify anything as long as you're doing you. To borrow from TED Talks, Guitars in Life, as long as you're doing you, why are you worrying about someone else? And as long as the other people are just doing what they're doing, there shouldn't be an issue at all. I think it's only like those gatekeepers, or I'm not even going to say a snob, because there are some people that are snobbish about things on their own. They could care less about what somebody else does in their business. That's fine, but for themselves, they might be snobbish, or they might be particular on their own requirements or their own standards. So it's not even fair to even say, well, there's the snobs out there, because I don't think your average snob is necessarily trying to impose that on the populace as a whole. I mean, I'm sure they exist, and I'm sure there's some that are just snobbish on their own requirements and their own expectations of the gear that they use, or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, let the rumble strips go by. So I just wanted to put this out there. I mean, this is nothing that is unique to guitar players. You're going to find, you want to go down a rabbit hole, look at the knife channels on YouTube, and you're going to find the exact same argument. There's the guys that say that, you can get by with a $15 Walmart knife, and then there's guys that say, no, you shouldn't spend anything less than, $140 on a knife. And it's the exact same arguments. It's the process in manufacturing. It's the materials. Is it the right kind of steel? How was it heat treated? And it's just human nature to find the dumbest things to argue about, and the dumbest things to justify your own sense of importance, whether in terms of your knowledge or your abilities or whatever. And it's like Jace was saying in his video, is making YouTube content. It's easy to fall into that trap to just keep the content going. And, it's easy to fall into that trap just in day-to-day lives. Look at the Ford and Chevy guys. Look at Coke and Pepsi. Look at anything. There's going to be people that are going to find things to try to say, this is better than that. Or you have to get to a certain level of this item to be successful, or to be acceptable, or to be appropriate, and anything that falls below that is unacceptable. Bicyclists are like that. I had a buddy of mine that got really into road biking, and he even said, he was like, I was spending more money on my bike than I was on my car. Had to think, because he got sucked into that culture, and it was like, oh no, I have to get new chains every so many miles and replace the tire, and it's nothing unique to guitars. And I think that if you spend time in quote unquote guitar YouTube, you just kind of get tunnel visioned on that. You think this is this argument that is just unique here, and it's not. He even said there's going to be people that, make comments and they don't watch it. And I got done watching his video. I went down and, yeah, they're right in the comments. There was somebody that either didn't watch the video or didn't listen to what he said or just didn't care and just wanted to, make a comment to try to make themselves look smarter, which didn't happen. The opposite was true, or be superior or whatever. So anyway, that's all I got to say. I'm 15 minutes into this, and I'm about 2 miles from my destination. So anyway, this has been TL, aka Snug D. My rare appearance in the flesh on YouTube. Just saying, like what you like, let other people like what they like. There's tons of ground in between those two, and not everything needs to be a contest, not everything needs to be an argument. I got a 13-year-old son. I say that constantly. It doesn't seem to help in that situation either. But anyway, quick congrats to Brian, Searching for Tone. Just hit 1,000 subs. That's awesome. I don't think I'm going to make the live stream tonight, so I'll try to catch some other time. Things have been crazy. Anyway, everyone who watches this, thank you, and have a good night.